The image in front of you shows Caylee Anthony, a woman who became known as the most hated woman in America. Her case sparked public outrage, street protests, and massive media attention because the ending of her story was completely unexpected. Due to the intense media coverage, her case was labeled at the time as the trial of the century. Let's first get to know the woman at the center of the story. Caylee Anthony. Caylee was born in 1986. Her father, George Anthony, worked as a police officer, and her mother, Cindy, was a nurse. Her life appeared stable and normal until Caylee reached her teenage years. During that period, friends and relatives began to notice something troubling. Caylee was constantly lying, whether the situation was small or serious, to the point that even her own parents didn't really know what she was doing, who her friends were, or where she spent most of her time. Despite this, her parents believed it was just a typical teenage phase that would eventually pass. When the time came for her high school graduation, her parents even sent invitations to neighbors to attend the ceremony. But they were shocked when the school administration informed them that Caylee hadn't actually graduated. She had failed several subjects. This was the complete opposite of what she had been telling them. She had insisted she was doing well and had passed. After that, Caylee decided to drop out of education entirely and claimed she was working at a famous cafe called Hard Rock Cafe. In 2005, she met a young man, and shortly afterward, she discovered she was pregnant. At the time, she was only 19 years old. In reality, Caylee did not want to become a mother. She often told her friends that she wanted to have an abortion, or that if she gave birth, she would place the child in an orphanage. She wanted to live freely, going out, partying, and enjoying life without responsibility. At first, she hid the pregnancy from her parents, but as time passed and it became obvious, she was forced to tell them. She reassured them that it wasn't a problem, claiming she would give the baby up after birth. Her parents strongly rejected that idea. A few months later, Caylee gave birth to a baby girl and named her Caylee. After the birth, the young man she claimed was the father proposed to her, and they got married. Later, Caylee hired a nanny to take care of the baby. Strangely, from the moment this nanny entered their lives, no one ever actually saw her, which raised suspicion. Over time, Caylee's parents began to suspect that her husband was not Caylee's biological father, mainly because of Caylee's constant lies. A DNA test confirmed their suspicions. He was not the father. The marriage ended, and Caylee returned to a lifestyle of partying and neglect. She completely ignored her daughter, often leaving her with the nanny, sometimes for long periods, even at the nanny's apartment. During this time, Caylee began a relationship with a man named Anthony. When her parents found out, a major argument erupted, and Caylee decided to leave her parents' home and move in with him. George and Cindy would regularly call to check on Caylee and their granddaughter. But eventually, whenever they asked to see or speak to Caylee always had excuses. She's asleep, she's sick, she's with the nanny. This behavior made them deeply suspicious. One day, Caylee drove her car to withdraw money from an ATM. The car ran out of gas on the road, forcing her to leave it behind temporarily. After it sat there for a long time, a passerby reported it to the police. When police arrived and ran the vehicle's registration, they discovered it was registered under George Anthony's name. They contacted him to retrieve it. When George got into the car, he noticed a strong, disturbing smell. After returning home, he searched for the source and found a trash bag in the trunk. Like any ordinary person, he threw the bag away. When he told his wife Cindy about the smell, she became furious and immediately went to confront Caylee. Inside the house, she found chaos, drugs, and total neglect. The first thought that crossed her mind was her granddaughter Caylee and the environment she was living in. Cindy demanded to know where Caylee was. As usual, Caylee claimed she was with the nanny, but under pressure, Caylee finally confessed, saying the nanny had kidnapped her daughter. Terrified, Cindy asked why the police hadn't been notified and immediately made the call herself to report Caylee missing. The recorded call revealed something disturbing. Cindy was frantic, emotional, and terrified. But when officers spoke to Caylee, the supposed mother of a kidnapped child, she was calm, cold, and emotionally detached. When asked how long her daughter had been missing, Caylee answered, 31 days. The officer, shocked, asked, 31 days? And you're only reporting this now? She replied, I was trying to find her myself. Casey gave police the nanny's address. When officers arrived, no one answered the door. The property manager confirmed that no one had lived there for months. Security cameras from the building were reviewed for the day Casey claimed she dropped Caylee off. She never appeared on the footage. Another lie. Further investigation revealed yet another shock. Casey claimed she worked at Hard Rock Cafe, something she had also told her parents. Police confirmed she never worked there. She was arrested for child neglect and providing false information. During interrogations, investigators pleaded with her to tell the truth to help locate her daughter, but she continued lying. Meanwhile, Cindy told police about the abandoned car and the terrible smell. Forensic tests revealed a horrifying discovery. A stain in the trunk matched the outline of a small child. Experts concluded it was the site of a decomposing body. Police also confirmed that the nanny Casey had blamed did not exist at all, a completely fabricated person. Casey was released on $500,000 bail as there was still no direct evidence tying her to murder. Instead of searching for her missing daughter, she was seen partying, getting a new tattoo, and posting photos online. Public outrage exploded. Media and protesters gathered outside her home, accusing her of murdering her own child. In 2008, a utility worker discovered a human skull in the woods near Casey's home. Police found remains nearby and confirmed they belonged to Caylee Anthony. A search of Casey's home revealed a bag similar to the one found with the remains, sold only in matching pairs. All suspicion pointed directly at Casey. Her defense attorney shifted blame onto her father, accusing him of poor parenting and even alleging childhood abuse. Claims George Anthony strongly denied. The defense argued Caylee had drowned accidentally and that Casey lied out of panic and psychological trauma. Despite public certainty of her guilt, the court ruled that all evidence was circumstantial. Caylee Anthony was sentenced to 4 years in prison, not for murder, but for misleading law enforcement. The verdict enraged the public and led to nationwide protests. Caylee Anthony was released and went on to live a normal life, while many still believe she was responsible for her daughter's death.